Welcome students. Hope all of you are in good health. Today we will start with another chapter of science, that is chapter 6, Soil Erosion and Conservation. Now in this chapter, first we will study about soil, its formation, its composition, its uses, and also about soil profile. Then we will study about soil erosion and its causes. And in the last, we will study about the different ways of soil conservation. So let us start with the introduction first. Students, you all have studied that the planet Earth on which we live is made up of soil and rocks. Now this soil is the topmost layer of Earth where plants grow. Now the soil provides the plants with nutrients and water that they need to grow. You know, the soil also gives shelter to many small living things such as earthworm, insects, rabbit, etc. And without soil, most of the life on earth would not survive. So you can say that soil is one of the most valuable natural resource. Okay? Now, let us learn more about it. Now, first we will study about how soil is formed. So, students, soil is formed from the breaking down of rocks. You know, the constant action of sun, wind, and water causes the rocks to break down into tiny pieces. And this breaking down of rocks is called weathering. Now, this repeated weathering over thousands of years breaks the rocks into small pieces. This results in the formation of soil. Now, you know, students, soil formation is a slow, long, and continuous process. Now, let us see what is soil made up of. So, students, soil is made up of gravel, clay, sand, moisture, and decayed organic matter. Now, this decayed organic matter consists of the remains of dead plants and animals, and it is also called humus. Now, you know, soil is not hard as a rock. There is a space between the particles of soil that hold air. Now the soil also contains minerals, microorganisms, and other living organisms. Students, soil is considered as a valuable resource because of the following uses. Now you know, soil is an excellent medium in which all plants grow. It provides useful minerals to the plants for their proper growth. Soil also helps in storage of underground water, which is utilized for drinking purposes. Now you know it is also used for the cultivation of buildings, dams, roads, etc. And as you have already studied that soil contains microorganisms, and these microorganisms makes soil fertile. So you can say that soil is very useful natural resource. Now next is soil profile. Students, soil is made up of different layers, and these layers contain particles of different sizes. The layers of soil form soil profile, and you know it has three layers one above the other. So let us see all the three layers of soil. First is topsoil. The uppermost layer of the soil is called topsoil. Almost all agricultural activities are done in this layer. This layer contains tiny particles of sand, clay, humus, water, and air. And you have already studied that humus makes the soil fertile. Plants get essential nutrients from this layer. Now the second layer is called subsoil. This layer has very little humus but contains water. And roots of trees generally reach this layer. Now the third layer, which has large pieces of rocks, is called bedrock. And it is quite deep inside the earth. Now next is soil erosion. Students, sometimes the topsoil is carried away by strong winds, washed away by heavy rains, or flowing river water. And this removal of fertile topsoil from one place to another by wind, rain, or river water is called soil erosion. Now you know that the loss of fertile topsoil makes the land unfit for farming. And this soil erosion occurs in those areas where the topsoil is bare and not covered with plants. Now, due to this soil erosion, the land loses its fertility and becomes barren. This soil erosion also causes water pollution and landslides. Now, next is causes of soil erosion. Students, there are different factors which are responsible for soil erosion. And these factors are called the agents of soil erosion. These are natural agents like running water and wind and some human activities. Okay. Now let us understand how they cause soil erosion. So first we will study about soil erosion due to running water. Students, running water is one of the main causes of soil erosion. When raindrops hit the ground, they loosen the particles in the topsoil. And these loose soil particles are washed away by flowing rainwater, causing soil erosion. Okay. Similarly, in hilly areas, water flows with a greater force due to slopes. So, soil erosion becomes more severe in hilly areas. Same as when a river overflows, it floods the adjoining areas and washes away the fertile topsoil. Now the next is soil erosion due to wind. Students, soil erosion due to wind is more common in areas that have very less vegetation. Wind blows away finer soil particles including organic matter, and this makes the soil less fertile. Okay. Now many human activities also cause soil erosion. Some of them are deforestation, overgrazing, and plowing of hillsides. Now let us understand how they cause soil erosion. Students, cutting down of trees on a large scale is called deforestation. You know that humans have cleared a large number of trees for their requirement. And you have already studied that the roots of plants hold the topsoil tightly. So, when trees and plants are cut down, the topsoil becomes loose and it can be easily carried away by the strong winds or running water. Now, next is overgrazing. Students, when grazing animals like cows, sheep, and goats are made to graze on the same area of land again and again, they eat up most of the green grass and other plants. And as a result, the soil becomes loose and it can be easily carried away by strong winds or running water. Now, next is plowing of hillsides. Now, plowing of land along hillsides also leaves loose soil, which causes erosion due to strong wind or running water. Now, the next topic is conservation of soil. Students, the topsoil enables us to grow our food. However, soil erosion takes away the topsoil and humus. It makes the land infertile. So, we need to make efforts to prevent soil erosion. And the prevention of soil from erosion is called soil conservation. Now, let us look at some ways of soil conservation. First is afforestation. Students, afforestation is the act of planting more and more trees to increase the forest cover. It is an effective method to control soil erosion. As you have already studied that the roots of trees hold the soil together and prevent it from being carried away by wind or water. So we should have to plant more and more number of trees. Next is avoiding overgrazing. We should take care that the grazing animals are not allowed to graze on the same area of land continuously for a long time, because you have studied that overgrazing reduces the fertility of soil. So we should have to avoiding overgrazing. Now next is growing plants in farmlands. Students, when the land is not being used for farming, then it is good to grow grass or some other plants to bind the soil particles together. Like this, we can prevent soil erosion. Farmers grow seasonal vegetables and pulses to protect the soil erosion. Even growing bushes or trees along the edges of farmlands reduces soil erosion by reducing the speed of wind. Now, next is construction of embankments. Now, as you have already studied, that running water washes away a large portion of the fertile topsoil during floods. And if strong embankments of rocks and stones are constructed on both the sides of a river, it would help to prevent flooding of water in the adjoining fields. And like this, we can check soil erosion. Now, the next way to conserve soil is step farming. Now, students, you know that on hill slopes, the flow of rainwater is very rapid. It carries away a lot of fertile topsoil. So, farmers in hilly regions cut the slopes of hills into steps or terrace, and this farming, which is done by cutting steps in the hill slopes, is called step farming or terrace farming. Now, this step farming reduces the speed of water as it flows down and therefore reduces soil erosion. Also, you know that the soil eroded from one step is deposited on the next step, and this further reduces the loss of fertile topsoil. Okay, so students, with the wrapping of this chapter, I hope all of you are able to understand that how we can able to conserve our precious valuable resource from erosion.